In the vast and infinite expanse of space, where the stars flicker like distant memories, there exists a planet, Mars. It is a world of paradoxes, a world that once may have been warm, with rivers running through its surface, only to become a frozen desert. A world that, despite its barrenness, whispers of the possibility of life, past, present, or perhaps in some distant future. Mars is both the object of our fascination and the symbol of humanity's thirst for discovery. But look at it from a distance, beyond the red dust and mountains, and you'll see something that has always stood out: a pair of moons circling the planet with a quiet, almost eerie grace. These moons are not like our own. They are not grand or majestic. They are not spherical or serene. Instead, they are small, irregular, and haunting in their mystery. Phobos and Deimos, two enigmas in orbit, their origins and futures as uncertain as the Martian surface itself. Phobos and Deimos are different from other moons in the solar system. They are not like Earth's moon, with its pale, reflective surface and familiar, tranquil glow. No, Phobos and Deimos are more like cosmic survivors. Their shapes are irregular, jagged, almost as if they have been shattered and reconstructed by the violent forces of space itself. Phobos, the larger of the two, measures just 22 kilometers across. It is about 1/10 the size of Earth's moon, making it a mere shadow of a true moon. But even with its small size, Phobos has something rare, a speed that outmatches the rotation of Mars. It races across the sky, taking just 7 hours and 39 minutes to orbit the planet. It is so close to Mars that it rises in the west and sets in the east, a celestial anomaly. And then there is Deimos, smaller and farther away. Deimos is the quiet counterpart, moving slowly, taking 30.3 hours to complete its orbit. Where Phobos is an urgent traveler, Deimos is a slow wanderer, drifting outward from Mars at a pace so gradual it could take millions of years to escape. Two moons, two different paths, two mysteries, but they share something profound, a connection to the very beginning of the solar system. Theories of their origins have captivated scientists and astronomers for over a century. For years, the widely accepted idea was that Phobos and Deimos were captured asteroids. These moons, after all, are small and irregular, strange enough to suggest they were once wandering in the asteroid belt between Mars and Jupiter. They could have been drawn into Mars' gravity, captured from the belt like pieces of cosmic debris. But as scientists studied them closer, the theory began to falter. Their orbits are too regular, too stable. A captured asteroid should have a more erratic orbit, more eccentricity, more tilt. That's when a bolder hypothesis emerged, one that suggested Mars had once been home to an entire family of moons, born not of capture, but of creation. Imagine Mars billions of years ago, long before the surface turned barren and dry. It was a time when the planet might have had oceans and a thick atmosphere. A time when a violent collision with a massive object sent waves of debris into orbit. A ring system might have encircled Mars, much like Saturn's rings, formed from shattered rock and dust. Over time, this debris began to coalesce into moons. Phobos and Deimos might have been born from that primordial ring. They were not captured. They were created in a burst of cosmic violence, fragments of Mars itself, formed from the very materials that had once been part of the planet's surface. They are, in essence, Martian children. And just like children, they are fragile and ephemeral, caught in a cosmic dance that will eventually end in destruction. Phobos, the closer of the two moons, is caught in a delicate dance with Mars. Its fate is sealed, if not by a cosmic catastrophe, then by the gentle but insistent forces of gravity. Phobos is slowly spiraling inward. Every year, it gets 1.8 meters closer to Mars. Tidal interactions between the two bodies, caused by Phobos' rapid orbit and Mars' rotation, are dragging it toward its inevitable destruction. In around 30 million years, Phobos will reach the Roche limit, a point at which the tidal forces will overcome the Moon's gravity. At this limit, Mars will tear Phobos apart. The fragments will form a temporary ring system, a fleeting halo of dust and rock around the planet. But the end of Phobos is not the end of the story. Its destruction will be a cycle of creation. A new, temporary ring will form, only to disintegrate again. Over and over, the forces of creation and destruction will play out, an eternal reminder that the universe itself is ever-changing, ever-evolving. Phobos is a doomed moon, but it is also a transitory beauty, a symbol of impermanence in the vast and turbulent cosmos. In contrast, Deimos is on a different trajectory. It is slowly drifting away from Mars, moving farther and farther with each passing year. Unlike Phobos, it is not headed toward destruction. It is headed toward freedom. Over millions of years, it may eventually escape the pull of Mars entirely, drifting into the cold void of space. Deimos' slow departure speaks to the dynamic nature of celestial bodies. Nothing in the universe remains fixed. Whether it is Phobos, spiraling inward to meet its end, or Deimos, drifting outward to unknown destinies, we are reminded that everything in the cosmos is in a state of constant motion. And in this motion, there is beauty, impermanent, fleeting, and yet profound. In the coming decades, our understanding of Phobos and Deimos will evolve. The Japanese space agency JAXA's MMX, Martian Moons Exploration, mission is slated to land on Phobos, collect surface samples, and return them to Earth. This will be humanity's first ever sample return from a Martian moon, and the data gathered could reshape our understanding of the origins of the Martian system. Could these samples reveal pieces of Mars itself? Could they contain traces of ancient water? Could they even help us understand the history of our own moon? The MMX mission will provide insights not only into the nature of the moons, but into the larger story of planetary formation. The mystery of the Martian moons is, in many ways, the story of the early solar system, a tale of chaos, creation, and destruction. In their fragility, Phobos and Deimos remind us of the impermanence of all things. They are the echoes of a time long past, yet they remain, circling Mars in a quiet, eternal rhythm. Mars, too, has its own cycle, one of creation, destruction, and rebirth. The landscape, once hospitable, is now barren. Yet who can say what the future holds? Will Mars one day see life again? Will it become a new cradle for humanity? Or will it remain silent, a ghostly reminder of what once was? And we, too, are part of this cosmic dance. We look to the stars, we search for answers, but the more we learn, the more we realize how much remains unknown, how little time we truly have in the vastness of space. Phobos and Deimos may be small, but their story is anything but insignificant. They are part of a cosmic narrative that stretches back billions of years and will continue long after we are gone. They are symbols of our eternal quest, our desire to understand, to connect, and to find our place in the universe. As the Martian moons drift silently above their parent world, their journey continues, one of slow, unrelenting change. They may not last forever. They may not even last for long. But their story is one we are only beginning to understand. And in that understanding, we are reminded the universe is not still. It is ever moving, ever shifting, an endless cycle of creation and destruction. And in this motion, there is beauty, there is mystery, and perhaps there is hope. For even in the smallest of bodies, even in the quietest of orbits, there are truths waiting to be discovered.